What's poppin', y'all? Playboi Carti's finally back, gearing up to release another album. He's been teasing project for a couple of years now. It was the whole narcissist thing initially, and then it became music, which is still what it is in development at least. And he's dropped 3 songs in a span of 7 to 10 days. This is really interesting because you guys already know. Whole Lotta Red as an album, I did not mess with that album. Now, there are a couple of songs on there, a couple of joints on there where I'm like, okay, this is cool. But as a whole, that whole aesthetic, the whole metrosexual vampire, the whole like zesty, Count Zestula, I wasn't too fond of it. Now, like the new wave, and this is something that I like about Carti, is like every album is kind of like a story or a character or a new, kind of like he's some director of his own like life and rollout. When he's really super normal behind the scenes. People think he's like, oh, really weird and like how he portrays himself. Nah, the dude's really, really normal. However, I kind of wanted to talk about a couple of the songs, why I like having him in the rap game right now, and just give my overall thoughts on it. So he dropped like 3 songs. I think it was You're the Moon, Hood by Air, and 2024. One of those was dropped on his main page, 2024. As for 2024, I really like the opening. The opening is like, whoa, this beat is crazy. As for like his verses, the whole song, I didn't really like it too much. It was okay, but the hook was definitely the one that I enjoyed the most out of this entire song. I think that kind of carries it for me. I like the vibe of the music video, kind of like this dude shooting a music video in a gas station. It's like so effortless. As for the song You're the Moon, I like this song. It's a pretty decent song. It feels like a young lean song. A lot of these beats that he's been using, they feel like some young lean-esque type stuff, which is cool. I've always liked young lean. But that song You're the Moon, I like him because he's a little bit more legible or understandable than a lot of the music that he had released in Whole Lotta Red and even the previous album before that. So this song is decent. I like the beat. I think the beat is great on this one. As for Hood by Air though, this is the combination, like beat and verses and hook, chorus, that I enjoyed the most. Hood by Air is probably the song that is the most normal. I think it would have like the broadest appeal, and that's why I'm like putting it, I would say I would have it tied for 2 different reasons. Me personally, I'd probably listen to You're the Moon more. I don't think I'd tune into 2024 much. Regardless, none of these albums are going to be on the album. If I had to, none of these songs are going to be on the album. I'm tweaking out. We're keeping that in there though. It's all in good fun. So no, I don't think any of these songs are going to be on the album. And the reason why I think Carti's doing this is he's got to test the waters. I mean, the guy's been gone for 3 years. It was last December when he dropped an album. Since then, he hasn't really done much. So when you're gone that long, and I think he was somewhat, I wouldn't say traumatized, but shell-shocked when he dropped Whole Lotta Red, and the immediate feedback was everybody trashing it. And I think he was like, okay, I gotta see where the people are at and how they're gonna receive the type of stuff that I've been working on. And I think he's worked on so much music that he doesn't know what to put out. And you got to think, before Whole Lotta Red even dropped, he dropped that song At Me, and that didn't end up on the album. Now, people kind of enjoyed that. It was like a 50-50 split, I would say, on if people thought that song was good or not. But he still didn't put it on the album. As for now, I'm thinking, and you guys got to think, dude, Carti's been in the studio for 3 years recording music. The guy's, I think he's paying attention to what's going on, but I really don't think he's listening, because you got to think he has such a unique fan base that he can't look around what other people are doing and try to imitate it. It just won't work. Or try to fall under the same umbrella or sound. That's why people like him. So I think he's checking what people feel about these songs, and then he might drop a certain type. I think he probably has more than one album done, and he's just choosing which sound he wants to go with for this rollout, which I could be totally wrong about, but I think that's the most realistic outcome or realistic situation, scenario, whatever though. So Playboi Carti, he's been talking to a bunch of other people, like shouting them out or DMing them, preparing for a rollout. And the reason why I like the fact that he's back in the game is because we get to see real, genuine fan excitement. Other than Ye, who else is generating a ton of excitement? Travis Scott. And Playboi Carti's nowhere near the level of Travis Scott in terms of popularity, mainstream appeal. And we get to see fans just like go crazy over new music. It kind of reminds me of like old days when I was a lot younger, and I would just get super hyped when somebody was about to drop. Now, I wasn't getting as hyped as these guys. I would be waiting for the drop, but these guys, it's at another level. And just because I can't necessarily relate to them all the way, it drums up excitement. Once hip hop hasn't been that exciting, especially for purely music. Think about it. Travis Scott, he was coming out after the whole Astroworld incident. There's a good big storyline there that develops for Utopia to drop. And Utopia has been promoted since Rodeo. So this is like an 8-year endeavor, if we are going to look at it in that terms. Ye is just Ye. So we can't even say anything there. Gunna, which was a good album that released this year. Well, the reason Gunna's album got a lot of hype, this guy came out of jail and told on Young Thug, or said YSL was a gang. So people are like, yo, is this guy going to come with some good music? Is he going to be able to, not revive, is he going to be able to maintain his career? Well, he proved that. Which is a video that I'm going to drop on the main channel. But Playboi Carti, what has he done? I mean, other than, catch that case like at the end of last year, which was like a little bit controversial, other than some stuff that has nothing to do with his music. We really don't know what he's up to. We don't know what he's got going on. There isn't much controversy around his name, at least for the past 6 or so, at least for the past year, I would say. So it's purely, hey, I'm back to drop music. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do a bunch of he kind of does mysterious stuff, let's be honest here. But when he does the mysterious stuff, it's in lead up to the music. So everybody's going crazy for this. And this is something that we haven't had in hip hop in a long time. And I love it. And shout out to all the Playboi Carti fans. Y'all keep going crazy. I'm enjoying watching the show. I basically got box seats with the popcorn. Will I be listening to the album? Of course. Come on now. I've been listening to Carti way too long for me to not listen to pretty much everything he puts out. Even though I don't necessarily like some of the past 2 albums, there's always something on there for me that I enjoy. And he's cultivated such an amazing fan base that he's been able to distribute it to the people on his label. I mean, it is Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely are doing their thing. People are fans of them too, which is something that I don't think I've seen effectively since Chief Keef. Chief Keef genuinely gave several people successful careers. And some of them didn't go as far, but he didn't even sign them. They got signed to some other labels and he didn't care. Rich the Kid, I would say he had a good label, but he didn't put on Famous Dex. Famous Dex was already lit before Rich the Kid signed him. Jay Critch was kind of buzzing. We could say Rich the Kid helped him out, but that doesn't even compare to what Carti did. Carti took these guys and made them careers without even doing a song with them. That's the most important part. And they're not even out with him all the time. They just got one photo with him. And that's another thing too about Carti is people just see the dude in the cut of a photo and they're like, yo, new Carti photo leak. He's spotted in Miami. What's he doing out there? The one thing though that really speaks to me and gets me in tune and looking forward to what Carti has to drop is how much he's been working with Ye. Ye's been messing with him since it was Off the Grid that he was on. But Donda, they were working together closely. Ye was kind of talking about yo, we should go on tour. A Ye Carti tour would go crazy. I think that's the only new generational artist, or a Ye Travis tour. Oh my God. I kind of want to see an intergenerational tour. Now Carti, he is going on, I think, the tour with, I don't know if it's scheduled already, but he's supposed to go on a tour with the people that are in his group. And I forgot to even add Homicide Gang or Opium Babies. These new people that be propping up that I've never even heard of. But apparently they've got fans. And that's all because of Carti, which is some Rain Man level magic. The whole thing is you can't really replicate it. It's such a unique scenario that so many events had to have happened for it to lead up to this point. But he's the only one in the game that's got it on lock like this. And I love it. And this is the thing too about Carti. He could be rubbing shoulders with a ton of celebrities. He could be rubbing shoulders with all these other rappers, pop stars even. But when he's not dropping music or on tour, the guy's in the cut, maybe hanging out with his chicks or whatever, seeing his son every now and then, according to Iggy Azalea, once in a blue moon. But newsflash, Iggy Azalea, we don't care. We don't care if Playboi Carti abandoned his kid. Now, as long as he's not harming the kid physically or anything, but he could never see that kid again, and we still gonna listen to his music. And if you're saying that, oh nah, that's wrong, you're still gonna listen to his music too. So don't try to be all high and mighty about it. So yeah, you'll probably see his kid every now and then, but he's not doing the most. And I think that's a sacrifice that he's making for his art that a lot of other rappers aren't willing to do. They want to be at these events. Man, imagine seeing Playboi Carti at the Met Gala. It doesn't even seem like it's supposed to happen. Has it happened? There's no way it's happened. But he's definitely had the opportunity to go somewhere like that. The Grammys, I don't think Carti would go unless he was nominated. I wouldn't be surprised if Carti got nominated for a Grammy and didn't go. That's just how he is. And it kind of reminds me about Chief Keef, except intentional. I think Carti's responsible, way more responsible than Chief Keef. But one thing that we loved about Chief Keef, and Carti was heavily inspired by Chief Keef, he was also a huge Chief Keef fan, is that Chief Keef just didn't give a damn. He was just kind of like a kid. He enjoyed making music. He enjoyed like playing video games and doing whatever he wanted to do, but just staying at the crib. He didn't care about no damn award shows. He didn't care about no music video shoots. He didn't care about no appearances. He barely cared about showing up to shows to pick up the bag. And that element is something that we can kind of relate to because it makes us feel like, yo, this guy's just like us, especially like the common man. They're like, man, I'm just here kicking it, especially if maybe you make music or you just have some sort of hobby. Like, yo, this guy could be doing all this stuff, but he's not. And he's doing that to focus on his craft because he's definitely working on music consistently because every time he comes back, it's with some new hot stuff. And that's one thing that I think he should get credit for more, even more than just the music, is the level of discipline he executes. And perhaps it's just his personality that he doesn't want to be all over with all of these people, but it works in his favor. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.